Well. Sir storms a lot.
Good
How are
evening, brother. Good evening.
you? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening and good morrow, sir. How you doing? It's been a
Doing
week.
good. Doing good, brother. Doing good, man. I'm hyped for this is a Wednesday night, man. It's always the thing that gets me through the end of the week, man. It's the middle. It's a nice spot. Then we
Yep.
move on to PPI on fucking Friday. So I love it, man.
Yeah, man, it's been busy. Also, lot's been happening, and
That's been
I think we're gonna probably get into a lot of that. And look, at the end of the day, we want you guys to understand something, okay? We're light on topics today for specific reasons because some of these topics have a lot of discussion points we need to talk about, and I'm sure that we're gonna be arguing between each other's top ten,
sure.
or be upset that we didn't add it to ours.
Yeah.
So if you're tuning in for the first time, I'm your lovely, gorgeous, sexy, absolute specimen of a human being, Chet and Alex, along with my gorgeous, absolute specimen, amazing co-host, Alexander Storm. And we are Toybox Chronicles, and we know you're watching, but we also know that over 100,000% of you aren't hitting subscribe. So you want to make sure you subscribe, get the notification bell. And this show, we're going to hit up our top 10 figures for 2024. The D23 happened. So what's going on with that Star Wars exclusive? A little bit of heartbreak, not much. And then good old McFarlane, just he's at it again. So if you're into that, which I know you are, you'll subscribe and you'll stay around. Explosions all over the place. Mr. Scott Solo, it's great to have you here, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you know,
Looking forward to you guys' show tonight
yeah,
too, after ours, man.
yeah, we know you're subbed. Calm down.
Now, here's the thing that I love, and actually, this was the sentiment that almost everyone on Monday morning I heard give, and he is absolutely right. In fact, we have a little thing that we saw because they did screw over, and Scott's actually this is a hot topic for him. Wow, yeah, it is. Thank you, and yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. One aspect that I'll say is that this this was as bad of a rollout like the San Diego Comic-Con. They went from like 2 weeks or so of bad rollouts. First of all, I understand the 3,000. What did we talk about? Like what I think it was on Friday when we heard it was only limited to 3,000. I'm like, there's no chance that there's going to be anything up for order because
Yeah.
3,000. Most people that are going to D23, which is a very expensive event to attend, if you've got the money to pay for that, you've got the money to pay for this Star Speeder 3000. So that was one of the main things. We're going to kick that off. Let's just roll into the topics with that. I'll add that to the screen. Now there's a couple of images right here that we've got, and is I was 15,791 in line. yeah, that wasn't gonna, 3,000. That wasn't gonna happen, brother. But
Funny story. I actually had it in my cart,
yeah, I know.
and then a little bit later, you told me that you and Dr. Brentley had it in a cart as
We
well.
did.
I got caught up on something at work, and I didn't get to buy it, but I had it in my cart, and I was able to get to the checkout, but I didn't get it.
Dr. Brentley had his cart because we was talking about it. I said Chet was looking. He said, "Let me check it right now." Wow, he put it into his chart and he said it's right here. And I said, let me hit up Chet just so because if he wants this, let's just pull the trigger on it. By the time I talked back to you, he was like, "Nope, it's already gone." so this thing, Scott says, yeah, I was on their site at 6:30 a.m. Oh my god. Yeah, like when you have to keep hitting refresh, refresh. Now, again, this will make you this D23 Disney Store, which is worldwide. It
Hmm.
didn't say just in the United States. So you never know where all this was distributed. But the one aspect that I think that was the killer was just 3,000. You were within 3,000, you're not going to get it. But we wanted to just throw this up on the screen right quick to let everyone know. First of all, Chet, you've heard there's been issues with this already, right?
Yeah. So already the people, the way that I've found issues about it is, if you go onto their site, they already have people that bought them at D23.
Hmm.
Was like, I bought this for my husband and got it home, and it played the video once, and now it doesn't play it anymore. Or the LCDs aren't lighting up, or it's not making noise, or like things are breaking. So I don't know. I don't think that would deter me enough
Hmm.
to have not, like, I think I still would have been excited that I got it.
Yeah.
But it is a bummer that so many of them are breaking. Yeah, Scott, if you go on D23's website and you click on it, you can look under the reviews of the product, and they're already breaking down.
Yeah, you know what? I saw a review on YouTube because, again, we're the channel that doesn't mind watching other people's stuff. We enjoy YouTube, we watch others. And he did a breakdown, I think it was over the weekend, and
Mhm.
he had it. He didn't report that issue, but I thought I was, first of all, I was amazed with the LED screens. And I'm like, okay, this is actually a trendsetter, it's a bar setter, because now from this point on, you can't just have light up crap if you're putting in like mini screens and stuff. So now that means that, next year for whatever the HasLab is for GI Joe, you now need to have a display screen with something that goes across it. Can't be just a light up instrument panel anymore.
Yep.
And it looked cool. Like I said again, I love the doors, I love the lights. Everything
Yep.
was fine. I knew there was no chance in hell that anybody that we know was going to get this, because 3,000 is very limited. Now, here's the thing, and I'm sure Scott will probably agree with this. They're going to reissue this, probably like a different version of the Star Speed, a later version of it, because they did update and change. But they're going to reissue this. They made too
Yeah.
much money,
I think if they reissue it, it just doesn't play the original.
I'm sure.
You
But
know
I
what
get
I'm saying?
the feeling that they're gonna reissue this because Disney, and I don't know if Hasbro built this. I can tell you, well, Scott's saying something too, was absolutely without electronics.
Mm.
I That's where I don't know. They may do electronics. I just think they're gonna do like it's gonna be the different version of the ride. They had several different versions of the ride, so it probably won't be that first one. But I'm sure they're gonna do that. And also, he says it's like printing money. Yeah, they're gonna.
Oh, this
Yeah,
is much better.
they're not leaving money on the table, so they're gonna reissue it. So down the line, it'll happen. It'll be a wider release, and I'm sure it will do well, because if Scott was sitting in line with 15,000 people, they're gonna reissue this and make money. But this was the two rollouts for San Diego Comic Con, which, just on the hindsight, we don't have an image for that. But I just Friday I got my update that Once a Man, Cobra Commander, was being sent
Mhm.
to the house. No uptick pay I got from Hasbro Pulse again, or Hasbro Pulse. Just be patient. I've done this too many times in a row. I've never paid over for those figures. I've always waited. I played the games, and every now and then it happens. Oh, and Scott's gonna do. So I'm sure we're gonna see a review over there on the Sarlacc Digest podcast. We've got ours. We'd love to see what Scott thinks about that.
Yeah.
But that came through, so that was all cool. And then one of the major ones that we're going to see is that there is a pre-order popping up tomorrow. Now, because we're going to let you know about the pre-orders and things that will happen. McFarlane, this is an Amazon exclusive. This is the one. This is the glow in the dark edition.
I don't know how to
Now,
do this.
here's the thing. There's two versions. There's one that I think he's only doing on McFarlane.com that lights up, and it comes with Alfred and everything else like that. And then there's this version of the glow in dark one. First of all, I've heard people bitch all week long. Oh, the colors are wrong and everything else like that. It, it had some blue in it, man. It had a little blue in it, but it had the green. Like, really, are you bitching about this? Is that the thing? I've never seen a green or a blue glow in the dark version of something. I've seen always this color green. I think it's really cool. I think it's the HR Giger version of the Batmobile from Batman Forever. Um, I think this was the best part of the film, to be honest with you, was the car.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this goes up tomorrow at, if I'm not mistaken, is at 9 a.m. I can't see that far up. Chet, I think it's 9 a.m. Tomorrow Pacific time. And let me see if I can blow this up a little bit more for me. Yeah, 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want this on Amazon, I usually his stuff does kind of sell out.
Yeah.
But I think more people are going to want to have the light up version of it. So, so there might be a good chance of you getting this. I don't know. And every time the same thing happens, everybody rushes on, and next thing you know, he doesn't have it. Then he puts up an Instagram post. It's back up again. So this is just one of those things. From Batman and Wrestlers. Yeah, it does. I'm waiting for an actual screen accurate version of the Batman versus Superman one, not the Justice League version with that stupid cannon on top. I
Mhm.
actually want. I think they only did it for the DC multiverse line, but I definitely want to see. That's probably one of the better Batmobiles I'd like to
Well,
see. So
I do want to do a little PSA about Todd McFarlane real quick.
we can go right ahead.
Yeah, like Todd, like I think okay, so the Batman animated series
Hmm.
figures I got,
Yeah,
like overall they're good. They just suck at displayability. You
yeah,
can't display them. Alfred has too small feet. Robin has too small feet. Batman has too small feet. So you have to get something to hold them, and then there's not a peg hole size for them. But I will say this, and I think a lot of people forget about this. Todd McFarlane technically changed the toy industry.
he did.
If you think about where we're at with the legends and articulation, especially when Todd
Hmm.
McFarlane got into the business before he had to change the name from Todd's Toys to McFarlane Toys or whatever it is, he was pushing for more articulation, better sculpting, like painting, like all that stuff. And so I always kind of say some shit about Todd McFarlane, but I do appreciate what he did for the industry. He was an underdog that went in and didn't really know what he was doing, and then is kind of where we're at, and that has
Hmm.
actually made some really good toys from my childhood.
Yes, yes. No, I love his. By the time he started really perfecting his Spawn line, it was really cool. Some of the stuff that he does today, the articulation and everything, is really great. Like I said again, every company has their pluses and minuses, and I think that Todd is giving people price points. First of all, I love what he said at San Diego Comic Con about the reason why he put Lucius Fox and Alfred with the Batmobiles, because those were figures that you probably would have never gotten. But if it comes with a vehicle or something, you're going to get a figure that a select few may want, but you're able to get it. So I think that that's the aspect and everything. Good evening tonight, sir. How you doing, sir? But I give him credit on that. I think it's extremely smart because there are certain things that we would not get. Like, Lucius Fox, I never thought we would get. And I think, again, we've said this before. I think that was the first time they've ever done a Morgan Freeman action figure, because I don't remember him ever getting an action figure before. So that on
I,
its own is
I
cool.
looked, and I don't know if I just don't know how to Google's, but I looked for it. I haven't seen one.
Yeah, I
That
like to
that
think.
that's a big reason why I kind of want that. You know.
Well, look, it's cool. Now, here the dilemma is that if you've been around as long as, oh, wait a minute, no, 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 uh-oh, we've got a correction in the point. We do have somebody. So they made one for Robin Hood. Okay, I didn't he have one, or no? He said, didn't he have one for Robin Hood? I don't know if they made action figures of
I'm gonna
that
look it up.
series.
Yeah.
All right. But again, one of the main dilemmas, and look, I They just had I was at my local Target, and this one is extremely rare. I actually did see a McFarlane product that everyone else has started to see, and that's an animated Batmobile that was on the shelf. Very rare for my Target to ever have anything that anyone else across the country has. But that was on the shelf, and that looked pretty good. Let's see. Yep, nope. He's saying that they did have it, brother. He said, yeah, and he said that Friar Tuck was a yep. Okay, so I guess they did have a Morgan Freeman one. So, all right, well, we'll have the Morgan Freeman in the suit version now. But anyways, I saw the Batman animated. It was $79. Lights up and everything else like that. It's a bargain compared to the DC Direct version, if you can still find one. I know those are running in the day; they were expensive, but now I'm sure just on the resale market they've clicked up and up too. So, but I already have a Kenner version of that one of the Batman animated, and then the New Adventures of Batman and Robin. I also have several Kenner versions of the Tumblr, and I have the Kenner version of the Batman Forever, which lights up as well. So, like, am I just getting another scale and repeating this kind of stuff? That's where it kind of kills you at. It's like, I like it. I think it's really cool. So, like, what do I get rid of the Kenner stuff, or do I bring this in because we only have so much room? That is the major dilemma with all toy collectors. We only have so much room. What can we do with it? Unless Dr. Britton and I hit one of those mega summer films, and I'm able to add on to a wing onto the house or something, then I'll have enough room for it. But that I don't think that's in the process of happening anytime soon. So that's the killer of it, man. But there's a pre-order tomorrow. If you want it, go on. I don't think that there's going to be a major problem for you getting it, but we'll see. We'll first thing in the morning about 10 a.m. Hour later, we'll start hearing the complaints if it's happening.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I've seen that. I've seen the Batman, the McFarlane animated
Yeah.
series Batmobile. My Target's a bunch. So I just I don't know. I like that, but I like that Batmobile, but
I know it's like the price range. Well, first of all, look, we'll do the pre-order death match tonight and everything. Look, you've got in like a couple of weeks the Rattler coming up. So if you didn't save your 375 or 350, if you have the Hasbro Pulse, then that's coming for you. I know you and I both ordered the Hunter tanks, and I ordered the Bridgelator attachment from Ace from Ramen Toys. So looking at just getting, and then of course, I still got Ghost Rider that's supposed to be coming in. I still got Hulkbuster that's supposed to be coming in. I still got Iron Grenadiers so I've got like 10 things that are supposed to be coming. And then the Stinger, I've been seeing everyone else at GI.Joe Classified Corporate Stinger. I've seen everyone on the East Coast is starting to get it. So pretty soon on the West Coast. So do I need to add something to it? Everything else like that. I thank God they didn't have a Marvel HasLab, or at least one that's planned so far.
But they're probably gonna launch that Dragon Man one soon.
Yeah, but see, that's not a character I'm really that interested in. I would be interested in like maybe if it was, while Dragon Man looks great, that's not a character I'm that familiar with in Marvel lore.
He's
So
just Fantastic Four. So
yeah, so look, it looks great. I'm glad they're doing it in this way instead of like the standard
we'll be able to
crowdfunding
compare
way.
it. My Dragon Man from 2000 whatever from Toy Biz is showing up soon.
Okay, all right.
So I got that. Yeah, I mean, look at the like you said, you only have so much shelf space.
Yeah.
Animated series stuff is cool. I got the figures, but I also don't love them. I like them for what they are, but they're not. They're probably not figures that'll sit on my shelf. They'll probably go in Ziploc bags, and I'll put them away and figure it out from there. Which is sad. I really like them, but you can't really do much with it. So
yeah, I think McFarlane should have thought of like maybe a unique stand that would have been able to, like, capture their feeding a little bit more to hold those characters up, because yeah, they are very hard to display with the thin, because he's tried to keep it in the
What,
animated style, but they're really thin.
yeah,
How
what
are
I
you going to put
love,
support
I
them?
love that about them is that they are literally the animation
Yes.
style.
Hmm.
But I also hate that about them because they're literally the animation style.
Well, that's why you probably do get the Batmobile, so they'll have something to just sit in.
Yeah, yeah, that's what has to happen.
That's exactly.
Let's run it down. Let's get into top tens because we got to talk about 20 figs.
Yep, we do.
You want to
Well,
go
well,
first?
well. You knocked out 20, but I add some honorable mentions at the end as well, so I added those in. Yeah, let's
I
I'll
didn't know
run
that
them.
was. I didn't know that was it. I didn't know you were going for extra
Well,
credit.
as I was, doing the assets and everything, I was like, let me, you know what? Since I'm doing this right now, let me just add a little extra time in. So we'll click that in. All
All right.
right. So at number 10, it came out in July early this year. Owlman. One of my favorite ones. Here's my buddy Mo collects plastics. Mo, what's going on? Valor's Bone Collectors in my top 10 for sure. Oh, I know that, man. Most of that Valorverse stuff, I know you. I know that was in there. Number 10 is Owlman, DC Multiverse McFarlane. The cape is a plastic cape, but they did it in a great way. I love this character ever since James Wood did his voice on him.
Mhm.
I got it for a great price too. It was on clearance. I think I paid $9. A couple of months after it was released. So,
But you
it,
Ross, right?
no, I picked this up in Walmart. It was actually on at Walmart in one of the clearance sections. So I was like, all right. And it was a better figure than I just looked at it for the pricing. But
Yeah,
when I got it home,
like
it was great.
Target right now by me has a bunch of Hush
Oh,
uh,
okay.
figures for $9.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So
Well, like I said again, there's this, sometimes, because he was bought at a discount, he jumped into the favorite list because it was unexpected because he was not on my radar. I was just in there and looked. I said, all right, boom. So we'll move on to the next one. Hopefully my mouse will make this a little work a little better. Nope, it did not actually. All right, there you go. Now Mo will love this. The Paltarian, hopefully I'm saying that right. Action Force. Love this robot. Design android cyborg kind of thing that Bobby Vala did. It's really cool. It has some great attachments, and I love his troop builders. He does troop builders better than Hasbro does with their classified line. So like that with the swarm figures and everything, I just love his troop builders. This will be one that I actually will put in there. Let's see, Mo, what says. Yeah, good little figures at Walmart. Says crazy. I have no luck in the hunts, especially at Walmart. Yeah, normally I don't, man. Normally I don't. Not around here. You and I stay in the same area, so no, not so much. But um, that's by Action Force Valaverse. So that very good looking figure. I love the stance. I love black and red on it. It's just one of those things that caught my eye. Looked a little bit again. He does it a little bit better than the guys at Hasbro when it comes to troop builders. So I had to put that on.
all right.
Number 8, Lieutenant Griffin, Operation Monster Force from the guys at Fresh Monkey Fiction. Look, I'm a killer for anything that's an update or any other situations. And we've got the Shadow Man that pops in. Shadow Man. Now Shadow Man knows his figures. Shadow knows figures.
Shadow does know.
But Lieutenant Griffin, they couldn't call him the Invisible Man, obviously, so there's rights issues with that. But I love the update to it. If you're gonna put him in a force and everything with some monsters, he's one of the guys. He's one go-to guy. So I
I
love
feel
what Fresh Monkey Fiction is doing right now.
I feel like there's a missed opportunity here. They could have just put like the indentation in the package for a head,
Uh-huh.
not put anything in it, and been like, oh, it's invisible.
Don't worry, give him some shame. I'm sure
You
one
just
of
buy it
those.
here at that
I'm
point.
sure somebody's gonna mistakenly get one that doesn't have a head. It's like, no, 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 no. That's the way it's supposed to get. Scott's like, I want these to come out already. It did a lot of work on. I know, Scott. I know. We should get the inside scoop one night about that. But yeah, I can't wait for that either. Let's see. Mo got one more. It says, nice looking figure. Fresh Monkey Film's killing it. Can't wait to see them roll out soon. Yes, I think they're doing a lot of things. And I can tell you on my list, it's not the only Fresh Monkey Fiction that will appear. So we'll go to number 7. Number 7, Once a Man Cobra Commander. You know why? Because he's just so hard to get. But also, I know there's some people don't like Cobra Law and they didn't like the G.I.
Yeah.
Joe movie and everything else like that. Whether you like the movie or not, you can appreciate a good scope, a good thing. It's the packaging that got me more. You
Package
know,
great.
just the creativeness and all that. Every year they've kind of done a great job with it. I thought Dr. Mindbender had great packaging. I thought Serpentor had great packaging. I love Chuckles' packaging. But this one, first of all, not only does it come with the outside particular packaging, but they also have a sleeve that comes on top to protect it.
Mhm.
Now, that put a little thought in. So it did jump up, not only because it is one of the most wanted figures right now, but also just the design. It was just a great design all around for it. Let's see what else we got. Honestly, I see what Hasbro's doing. I'm not sure. They didn't want Coco to sit on the site like Chuckles did. That's true. So they didn't make it hard for everyone. But who knows? My take. Yeah, you never know, man. You never know, Aaron. But that's the reason for it. I just thought this was an all around figure, and I know you did a review on it. If you haven't checked out Chet's Unbox short, you should check it out because he just in 55 seconds he hits all the numbers on it. So it was probably one of the most efficient reviews I've seen in a long time. Because I saw a guy do like 45 minutes, and I thought it didn't need 45 minutes, but okay. Number 6 hasn't came out. Supposed to show up at the HasCon. It's personally one of my favorites, only because my mother would not let me eat that cereal when I was a kid, the GI Joe Star cereal. So I never had a chance to get Starduster, and I missed him for the SoCal Joe show that Scott and one of his friends did. So I definitely want to see that. Also, Scott saying 500 person online. So yeah, I know. Yeah, that for the Cobra Commander Once a Man. I don't know why they did that, and they shouldn't have done it. And then one person is saying San Diego Comic Con. That was only until Saturday.
Yeah.
And
Saturday.
then by Saturday, they started giving everybody how many they wanted, and it didn't matter. I saw a guy walking out with 10 from the convention. So there's pictures on Instagram to prove that. And yeah, we know you got the Hasbro. Both.
So I'm not a you know me, I'm not a very big Joe
I know.
figure.
Yeah.
But I do have the Joes that I like. I did get Chuckles.
Mm-hmm.
He's great. I have Supreme Cobra Commander.
Mm-hmm.
I have Once a Man,
Yep.
and I will have this one because this one
Yeah.
is an awesome figure. Because I went down the rabbit hole. We talked about the
Yeah,
original.
we talked about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you said it was hard, and you know how I am with like Grail pieces.
Of
So
course. Yeah.
I started to like, all right, well, where can I find and what can I get? And yeah, I'll just get this one.
Yeah, no, this one was look, it gives a chance for people that didn't pick it up in the 80s with the cereal and the whole thing to get a chance to get Starduster. He's such a elusive figure. I thought he was coming with the jump pad. Mistaken, but I think they're gonna save that for I believe Flash or one of the characters. One of the characters is gonna come with the jump pad, I'm sure. But Starduster's always an elusive holy grail figure that they didn't do classified figures. So great job for them, Hasbro. Next one, number 5. Now, see, this one's maybe he's not going to go on a lot of people's lists. This is a sentimental favorite of mine. One, because when I was growing up, my very first Joe was Doc. He was purchased in a Toys R Us. I can tell you the Toys R Us too. It was in Torrance, California. It was a huge Toys R Us. And my mom raised me and my brother. She worked 2 jobs. She was extremely hardworking. And, every week she would take us to, buy some kind of action figure. So we saw G.I. Joe for the first time. And my brother and I was like, wow, that's what we wanted. And again, it makes it because, again, my mom was working 2 jobs. So there's some sentimental things in there. Whenever I see Doc, it takes me to the point that, every week we got a new Joe. And Doc was one of the first. Doc looked like me. And then when I saw him in the animated cartoon, it was like, he wasn't in a lot of episodes, but when he was, he had something important to say. So Doc's a sentimental favorite. I think they did a great job with Classified, putting them to the next level. And also, we have another Doc lover in here, Scott. Yep.
Doc's pretty awesome.
Doc's I think they did a great job. I love with everything that he came with, the accessories and everything else. And yep. There you go. So that's Doc. So sentimental favorite of mine. I know he's not going to make a lot of people's list, but he's making mine. No, I knew this was going to happen too. All right, number 4, Hulkbuster. Only because this figure's like it's large as hell. I didn't think it was going to be this big. When I started seeing the imaging and everybody overseas, I'm like, wow, this is a big figure. You can take the head off and everything else. If you can't afford the Hot Toys, like myself and many others, this is going to be a very good replacement for it. And it's not going to be something you're going to worry about anybody messing with. So I think he's going to be bigger than a shelf, though. So I may have to like put like an extended shelf or something for him. So I'm looking forward to him.
Yeah.
Number 3, look, when you can see them on the shelves.
If you wanted action figures for Toybox Chronicles, you got it.
You got it. You did. This was when we saw the live stream and they did the fist bump. And if you look back up there, they're doing the fist bump. This was the aspect that I was like, nope. They did Luke Cage right. They did Iron Fist right. Heroes for Hire. Like I said, it's one of my favorite episodes they did of Luke Cage when him and Danny Rand got together.
Yep.
It's just a perfect blending of characters. And the thing I love about this contrast is Luke's just wearing a shirt, some jeans, some boots. Iron Fist is a little out there and everything with design, but they look like they'd be walking down the main streets of Harlem and no one would bother them.
Yeah, so awesome.
And just watch the Israel's on Hulkbuster's tight. Yes, sir. Yes, he is. And then Heroes for Hire Classic. It is, man. It is. It's one of those ones that got me reading in the comics and everything. Luke Cage. All right. So from there, we're getting down. We got number 2, another Kilowog.
I couldn't. I wanted this after you told me.
Now Rad got it. I got it because Rad said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna get this." There, he pointed out through one of our group texts, and the minute I saw this, I was like, "Oh no, I'm getting this." And then you tried. You was like, "Damn, dude, I don't have it." Don't worry, they're gonna restock it. Don't worry. But
no, it's still
just a badass werewolf. You just so that's gonna go great with Lieutenant Griffin. So that's 2 Fresh Monkey Fiction characters on the board. Well deserved. My number 1, sir, which you'll probably guess what it is, and I know Dr. Brentley, he's watching tonight, he knows what it is going to be, can I not say, like I said, Danny Ketch, the 1990s version of Ghost Rider with his bike. This was number 1, the pricing is great. The figure's great. It comes with all kind of effects and stands and everything else. I've seen other people doing their toy photography posing this. Great character, man. It is my version of him. And there's a shelf up there. You'll see Morbius there. Danny Ketch will be there. They're brand new. I didn't put them on the list because let me do a couple of extras. So there'll be another list we'll do at the end of the year. But they had the new Jim Lee version of the Punisher. So I'm looking to just build out those characters on the wall, but this is definitely doing it. So Ghost Rider's there. And of course, Dr. Brentley, this is, I've got that first image of that actual Ghost Rider. I think that's volume 2 or something. But he's whenever I think of Ghost Rider, that's my favorite. And I'll run to honorable mentions right quick. The Ramen Toys, the Marshall. Like I said again, it's like I wasn't a fan of Marshall Bravestar when he was on TV, but Ramen sold me on this.
Yeah, it's a great thing. I saw that when I was at the Joe show.
I know.
In Atlanta, and it was
articulations, everything. My man's hitting.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's on.
Then
you got Sergeant Slaughter here, huh?
Obviously, just for the duffel bag and the dumbbells, great accessories, brother. And then Sergeant Siege, through another of Bobby Vala's Action Force line. One, I like it because one, he has a cigar. Now, very controversial for any characters to do that. I'm glad that he's like, no, I'm gonna break what Hasbro's not gonna do. So I love that rebel mentality and everything. And then this one I put on the honorable list, and it's just there for one aspect, is that it's the San Diego Comic-Con. They weren't exclusive, but they were at the event. The Light Up Eyes Thundercats, Lionel, and Mungra. Now, the reason why it's just an honorable mention, the pricing. You and I have said this, and if anybody from Super 7 ever came on the show, we tell them it's too high. Each individual figure is $65.
Not buying
That's
it.
Just it's like it gets on them. Look, I love the design, the details, and everything.
You know how they did
a road too high.
Light Up Eyes when we were kids.
Yeah, it was like what,
$20
or something, $13 or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's like the same way they did Metalhead from Ninja Turtles. It was clear plastic all the way through, and you held a flashlight up to it, and you got to imagine that they were lighting up.
Well, the Thundercats had some little mini was like some stick that you plugged into their back, and then they lit up. You know, but yeah, at 65, it's a road too high. That's the one problem I always have with Super 7. These are great sculpted figures. They look great. So that is my list and everything else. So we're going to hit chats, but let me hit the chat right quick. Sorlac Digest, guys. Welcome, gentlemen. I know you guys are prepping for the next show. We will be there. And Patty says, yep, a great Ghost Rider. Absolutely. Absolutely, Patty. Great Ghost Rider. And Dark Moocher pops in. Sorry I'm late and everything else like that. Well,
you're Scott got Storm's list. You could sit through mine.
Go ahead, sir. The world is yours.
All right. Well, look, I am a fan of Fantastic Four. Always have been. This guy makes this 1/12 scale Fantastic Four car on Etsy.
I saw that.
Yes. And I'm very much contemplating it, but the wait is a very long time. But for what it is, so I have the Walgreens Fantastic Fours are the best versions that were released. So I have those, and then I have Bagman, and then these came out. And I was like, man, if you just keep throwing characters for Fantastic Four, I'm just gonna keep buying them.
Yeah.
This was number 10. It's cool. It's not the best, but I wanted it and got it. I went to Playmates. So this one for me, the classic sketch turtles. These were awesome. I had to get them, and I was on the phone with you actually when I walked in.
I remember.
Yep. And we were all four on the peg, and I was like, well, that's a expense I wasn't going to do today. What I like about these real quick, is that they come with the diorama. So like,
yes,
each turtle has a different one. I think that's cool. That's how you know they were meant to be posed.
Also, they were extremely reasonable in pricing as well. That's the one thing that you got to give Playmates credit for. Yeah,
they paid $53 after tax.
Yeah. Shadow's saying that his turtles are at Ross.
Yeah.
Well,
those are like the best actions.
Yeah.
Marvel Legends, Strange Tales. You know my obsession with Brother Voodoo.
He was on the cusp of my list, brother, but I said I'm gonna leave him for my year-end list.
The only thing that would make this figure better is if this figure had soft goods cape. But a little bit more on that. I'm working on a soft goods project for Toybox Chronicles, so I will inform people that more. But Brother Voodoo, I'm not going to pass it up. I'm obsessed.
I know. I didn't either.
So I got this. I actually got the entire line. And
I didn't go so far with that whole line, man.
Yeah. Odin. A fantastic figure. Turtles are worth it.
They were, absolutely.
No, so this one I'm excited about. It's Odin.
That's a huge figure too, man.
Yeah, it's a great figure. It's going to go in my Galactus display.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Again, we don't need to talk about this much more. This made my list. I mean, you don't get much better That's Toybox.
Great pose too, man. The best pose.
Yeah, Toybox Chronicles. And then this one I just arrived at my house last week.
I remember that one. Yeah,
Order. This is a sexy figure, man. The box is gorgeous, like the figures.
it is.
And I'm not a fan of the new Transformer stuff. I'm not. But the comic book series is great.
And those were the old Marvel comic images as well.
Yes.
And I thought that was, look, we're probably going to do like, the boxes of the year and everything, or the packaging of the year. That's going in it along with the Once a Man Cobra Commander. They did some great job on those packages.
Yeah, the box is fantastic. I have it right behind me. Like it's a good box.
Beautiful box.
Death Head. I've always loved Death's Head. And I did a review on it, but this figure's really good, man. It's a solid build. It's fun. It's got a lot of accessories that make sense. You can pose it exactly like this. It stands up for some weird reason. Like it's a great figure all around. Also,
you know why I knew that was a good figure?
Hmm.
Because you did one hell of an unbox on it.
If you don't like it in 55 seconds, you're not going to like it.
Yeah, you're not going to buy it. If you get me in 55 seconds, you got me, man.
Yeah. And then, of course, Cobra Commander, Once a Man.
What can you say?
I used a different
Once a Man once had dollars.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Like I said, Mo's saying chest list.
I had
French.
Yeah,
that's not French, man. That's English, brother.
So now, if you remember, I had Sketch Turtles on there.
I do remember Sketch Turtles.
So my number 2 is the Garage Turtles, Laird Eastman Sketch Turtles. I fell in love with these when they announced it, so much so
I remember that.
I bought 2 packs because I want all 4 turtles. And so I opened up one and I did the review, and I have the other one right down here by my feet.
And those were the Playmate versions, right? Not NECA.
Which ones?
These right here.
These are NECA.
Versions? So those are NECA. Okay. All right.
Yeah. These are the Playmates.
Okay. No, but I thought they also did Eastman and Laird sketch version that was different. So maybe I'm wrong.
There is a white version.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking about. Okay.
These, I'm going to tell you right now, these are solid figures, but Big Boy right here is heavy.
Oh yeah, wow.
I mean, he's heavy, and it's a good figure in your hand. I love it. Now, my number 1. I'm not a Joe collector. I never have been. But my number 1.
Wild Weasel, or as a whole?
My number 1 is just this in general. And it's because I'm ideally we'll hit all the tiers. I love the Baroness. I love the Baroness in here. I love Wild Weasel. It's also
wait a minute. Wait, hold on. I got to stop you here. Wait a minute, because while we have the Sorlac guys in there, did you hear that? It's going to hit all 4 tier guys. So I just wanted to rub that Cantina wound in a little more.
Yeah,
but this is going to hit all 4 tiers.
Just gonna jump right up there. So I love this because you also get that alternative head for Weasel.
Yes.
But the Baroness figure, I really want. I've been trying to grab a Baroness figure. I just don't have anything I really like. This one's great, but this is gonna be great because it's like it's really just gonna be like a centerpiece. So yeah, man, that's my list. I had some other ones that I probably could have put on there, but at the end of the day, those that excited me. And
that's why I'll give credit to, and this is one thing that Mo actually said, and I absolutely, let's talk about those damn patches though. It's like, come on, man, they definitely could have gotten a 4th figure, and Hasbro could have count days. Yep. Now here's the thing, I agree with you on one thing. I thought it was the weakest first tier I've seen since the Rancor. Like, it's a weak first tier. And I think that the reason why there's been such a delay, because normally this thing would have had everything unlocked by now. But I think that there are so many people that are holding off, And I have a feeling that if this lasts a little while longer, you're going to see like they did for the when they mentioned last year in the Dragonfly campaign, and they put Glinda. And a lot of people were pissed about that, and they didn't understand that it was, basically a South American character and everything, and a little different, but they were adding into that lore. That they all of a sudden out of nowhere they had a Crazy Legs drawing, and it wasn't a digital render. It was just a pencil drawing, well, a pencil and ink and color drawing of it. But it was like you could tell they just threw that in. I have a feeling that if this holds off a little longer, they're going to do the same thing. There's going to be a penciled in fourth figure for this, because a lot of people, look, the minute I saw that, I said, this was one of the laziest first tiers I've ever seen. Now, if you would have just put that in the packaging, I would have been good with it.
And the way they spin it is like, come on.
Well, again, what are we going to do with patches? Like, who even uses patches?
I'm going to put on my patch jacket.
Now, if this was like, maybe they were going, I understand there's a retroness. We're going back to the 1980s and everything like that. But you know what happened to guys that wear patches? They got their asses kicked.
Yeah, and they stopped wearing them.
Yeah, you only had a patch one time and somebody ripped it off.
Hey, look, if they're iron on, I got no shame. I'll iron that on my jeans.
I have no version of the patches. They'll sit in the boxes just like I don't put the extra stickers and decal. No, I just keep it in there because again, I'm a completist with it.
It's like those accessories, the hands you don't use, so you just put them in a bag.
And it sits in some kind of thing, and then every now and then you got to pose for it and be like, "What the hell did I do with those?" Yeah. And hopefully, did I separate it enough where I'll remember whose hands go to what?
Yeah, I think I'll be too busy with the action figures and all the accessories for the freaking Rattler that I won't care about patches.
But I thought that Hasbro definitely could have done something better. And again, there's a lot of people that I've heard this more and more. We watch a bunch of YouTube other channels and everything. And the one thing in the chats, everybody's like, oh, well, a lot of the Hasbro guys are just going to take whatever and they're going to do whatever and they're going to be happy with it. I heard a lot of like they call them the Joe Bros were pissed. There was a lot of pissed off and everything. What's going on, Meeks? Glad you could tune in. But yeah, so there wasn't like there's some people that was like, yay, patches, but that wasn't the sentiment. I think that was probably a 20% of
when they said patches as the first tier, I got really excited because I thought it was gonna be Patches O'Houlihan from Dodgeball. Turns out it wasn't, so I was a little upset about that.
Yeah, no, they definitely made a mistake with that. I also thought just the standard Cobra Flight officer was like, okay, again, the Baroness was great. I thought it was a very good character. I loved the detail that he did with Wild Weasel. The Rattler itself, they did a lot of great designs on it and everything else. But I just thought their tiers needed a little bit of improvement. I have a feeling though, if this holds out a little longer, you're gonna see something updated. We'll see.
Yeah, I might add a second one, by the way.
Yeah, well, I think everybody else. I think Mo, if you're still in the chat, you bought two of them too, right, Mo? So if you're still here,
I remember a friend that's ordering theirs this week.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are there's a lot of wait and see kind of scenarios, but it's going to hit its numbers. It always does, and it's just that this is the first time I've seen with the campaign because the hiss was like that. There was there you go. There you go. Yeah, Mo, I knew that we were talking the other day about that. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's there.
Look, maybe I'm in a triple dip.
Don't dare us because we definitely will, man. Definitely will.
Don't dare me because I lose all concept of accountability and I just go for it.
Exactly. But again, it's at a premium. And I think that this is what happened. I think what you're going to have to start doing now as a 6-inch fan is you're going to have to start rotating it seasonal wise. You're going to just basically have to just put some stuff in the box and everything, maybe a Dragonfly and a Rattler, then you take the hits take down for a couple of months and everything. We might have to start rotating the collection in like a museum. Oh, like I said, okay, my patches for free. Let me see. Watch. Now, here's the funny thing, Mo. Let me tell you something. You may end up doing that, and that might be the most valuable piece in that box, right? For some strange reason, like 3 or 4 years down the line, those patches may be
Do
fetching
you know why
close to
they'll be the
$30
most valuable piece in that box?
because everybody's probably going to destroy them or give them out.
Yep, exactly. Because
Hmm.
people aren't going to lose the actual jet.
No.
They're not going to have the patches,
Hmm.
and it's going to be like, oh, I don't want these. I throw them away, and then it just really just narrows down who's got what. That's why I won't be opening mine out of if there's any protective package around them. They're just going to go straight into the little
Yeah,
box.
it's gonna stay in the packaging. Same thing with the his tank extra stickers. I keep it just my stuff generic. I don't like the old sticker fade that normally happens, so I just left it in there. And it's like, they're nice to have. They're nice accessories. There's some people that like to really customize their stuff. And I think the patches will. Now we're laughing at them. Somewhere down the line, they will be a little bit way more valuable than we think they're going to be. So. But
Yep.
that's our point. I would have added in a couple other extra mentions. It wasn't a 2024 figure, but also another great review by Chet Unbox shorts that he's been doing. He actually picked up some stuff, and we should do our like discounts, list somewhere down the line. And everything. Maybe we'll do that on Instagram or something. But
Yeah.
I gotta put Mr. Fix It. One, because you can't beat the price of $20 when it's still up for $64 on some sites. But
Wow.
two is that is a huge figure weight wise, man.
No, it was so heavy.
I was like absolutely shocked at the weight, and I said, "Wow, this was the detail. I love the suit design. Everything else is just beautiful with it."
Yeah, I have to tell you, man. Like you can see behind me, like I'm doing like some photos right now, but I gotta tell you, my favorite some of my favorite figures are from Marvel Select, man. Like
Yeah,
Marvel Select Red Hulk is fantastic. Immortal
it was.
Hulk is fantastic.
Yeah.
The weight on those they're heavy and they're great. Like because I'm a very big figure collector. Like
Hmm.
if it's massive, I'll probably want it. It's girthy. It's great. And Mr. Fix It. When I picked up that box to like grab them, I was
Yeah.
like, this is heavy.
Either somebody put some bricks in there or Mr. Fix is in there.
Yeah, and it's just windowless one, so I was assuming it was a
I
brick.
know. I'm glad they
You're
definitely
like, I
moved
saw
away from
you
that.
open mine. I still thought you put a brick in it.
Yeah, oh, dude, it was heavy. I was like, wow, it's like, it's complete different from the other stuff. So I can just imagine the size of Odin. Mo Collects puts down is I just glad that we got the Rattler. It's the Hasbro that was really hoping for. Curious as to what you and Chet would like as the future has left. Okay, that's a great question.
Future,
Uh, yeah.
I think
Um,
for me, Future HasLab somewhere in the Marvel universe. Um, we've talked about it before, where
mhm,
there's potential right now for them to do like a playset, right?
mhm, mhm,
Like Stark Tower or
something.
Avenger Tower or whatever. Um, but they also have Galactus, and so they were saying that from a figure standpoint, Galactus is gonna be kind of like it, for the Legends.
Likewise.
Um, I just don't, I would love to see Finn make an appearance. Finn Fang
Of
Foom,
course.
he's fantastic. I would have said Dragon Man, but I do like the direction they went with that.
Hmm.
But I think I think the next HasLab for Marvel, out of all the things I've said, needs to be a vehicle,
Okay. Well,
specifically Marvel.
I know they've got either they can do the Quinjet or the X-Men Blackbird. Because I've got a feeling somewhere down the line we're going to get some kind of X-Men kind of scenarios, just because of Deadpool Wolverine. And if you haven't seen that out there, it's worth the watch. Probably it's the movie of the year so far.
I could see Blackbird. I could see Blackbird because they could almost use Rattler for that.
Yeah, they have to make it a little bit bigger, but I'm sure. Yeah, yeah.
Could you imagine having that jet and then all of your X-Men in it.
Oh, I can't imagine. I know at one possible point they'll probably do it because I'm thinking that they're testing that stuff out with the Joe items because I didn't think they were going to do the Rattler this early, to be quite honest with you. You know,
Yeah.
once when they did the his thing, I'm like, okay. And then I saw like, they did the Vamp and a couple of things, and so maybe they're moving it. Then they did the Dragonfly. I was like, all right, that's a lot bigger than I thought they were going to go. I thought they were going to keep it in a certain style and point. And then
And
when
then
the
they're like,
Rattler,
check out
because
the
the wing
Rattler.
size, yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, well, what else can they do? Look, they can't. I think the reason why I also bought the Hunter with the bridge layer attachment is I truly don't believe that Hasbro would have done the bridge layer. So I think by Ace having that available with Ram and Toy, I just don't think they would have done it. I think they'll do a tank. I think they'll do the Mauler or something, but I didn't think they were ever going to do like the bridge layer. So that was kind of cool. And from what you saw at the Joe Fest, that bridge layer attachment is large as hell. I'm just looking at the photos of it. It's like, my God. So,
Yeah, in
you know,
person, like this is. I mean, the thing was like, it's,
yeah, it was huge, brother.
yeah.
Mo's asking questions, everything. Chet, did you or Chet get the Dragonfly? I, of course, got the Dragonfly. Chet, you passed on the Dragonfly, right?
Yeah, I did. That was before I realized what I passed on, but I did. There's a potential that I'll be looking for at aftermarket, but
Mm,
I probably won't want to pay aftermarket price.
yeah. Well, again, what are we always saying that whenever you buy an HasLab at that exact moment, that's probably the
Cheapest you
best
get it.
price you're going to ever see it ever on
Yep.
it. Now,
Doesn't matter. I love it.
sometimes you get it. I've seen some people like score it for under $100 extra or something. That's not too bad. But then I've known people also to spot things for several $100 more than what it
I mean, I
was. So,
paid. I mean, I paid 210 more for my Galactus than it went. You know, and I want the Sentinel, but I'm not paying that price. It's like 750 now. Like,
yeah,
no
oh
thanks.
my God, yeah. Well, give us some time with some other Xmas. And I do think if they did the Blackbird, a couple of things, I think that it definitely goes. Mo said that he bought for on the SoCal Joe show. Yeah, that wasn't a bad price for that, man.
That's a good price. Yeah. The
I've
Joe
seen it
show
go
that
for a little bit more higher.
Yeah, the Joe show that was out here in Atlanta, multiple people were selling his thing for 500.
Yeah, actually, I think when we did the Robo Toy Fest, didn't we see one for 650
Yeah.
that some guy was trying to sell? And I was like, my God,
Yeah, we walked by there and it was kind of like
Yeah, like that one.
there's some premium pieces at that place,
Yeah.
but they
hmm
were all priced as
Well, they had Jabba's Cell Barge, and I thought that their price increase is well worth that. Number one, that is probably one of the largest boxes I've seen out of anything that's been shipped by a company. Other than we'll see whatever I didn't buy it, but that Super 7 Cat's Lair, I think
that
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 box is going to be
barge that
crazy.
barge box is like you went and bought patio furniture.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. And can you imagine that on your if it just the packaging and everything on your front step? Somebody probably would think it's something way more valuable than it just being a toy. But I'm sure there's a lot of porch pirates that be grabbing that kind of
Well,
box.
at this point though, those porch pirates would have been making money. They would have been like,
They certainly would be. Well, my friend, we're gathering down for the night, but you know what? We've got a couple of things that we always do. First of all, like I said, we got to pay the lights. Even though we're in two different houses and everything, but the network's got lights to pay. And you know how we pay that through? Our affiliate, Entertainment Earth. One of the main questions I get all the time is number one, if you're purchasing anything from any online retail store or something, the free delivery at $79, chances are you're going to spend that amount of money. If you buy 3 action figures or something, chances are, with plus tax and everything, you're going to do that. So if you can get anything free back to you, end up getting it. But our promo codes, links always in the description. It's one of those, I like to think that we have one of the better promo codes for Entertainment Earth, because we've seen some others and we did the math for you, and you've seen the discounts on it. But we are just a small, humble brand of individuals, along with our other buddies over the store like Digest. And if you need to know what you should be doing Wednesday nights and Friday nights, well, guess what we got for you. Now, here's the thing. Don't say that you don't know what to do on Wednesday nights, because you got 3 great lineup shows back to back to back on Wednesday nights. Yeah, and then on Friday nights, when you say, "Hey, man, there's nothing on Netflix and everything," the boys over at Pistol Plastic Inc. It's always on at 7 p.m. So you got that. So, and other than that, my friend, we're looking like we're coming down, because you know what? The best Star Wars show on the planet is on.
It's happening right now.
They're happening right now. What are we still on here for, man?
I have no idea. Hey, that's going to do it for us. You guys need to subscribe, like, follow, and all that stuff. And thanks for hanging out and chatting. And who knows, maybe next week we'll give something away. So make sure you're here. And the keyword, in order to get it, and this is important, the keyword you need to use to enter into the giveaway is